morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday service. Let's stand up. We're going to start singing. One, two, three, four. In the kingdom of our hearts, where dreams like rivers flow. There's a man of many years. He's always there, you know. When the lights have all gone out and you are stuck in bed, on a journey to the kingdom, we are softly led. Take me through the doorway, lead me to the land, where Father's love is flowing freely, children hand in hand. Take me through the doorway, lead me to the land, where Father's love is flowing freely, children hand in hand. In the house where He abides, the table set for all. There's a fire always burning, can't you hear Him call? There's a path that you can find if you believe it's there. Follow it with all your heart, there's joy for all to share. Take me through the doorway, lead me to the land, where Father's love is flowing freely, children hand in hand. Take me through the doorway, lead me to the land, where Father's love is flowing freely, children hand in hand. Take me through the doorway, lead me to the land, where Father's love is flowing freely, children hand in hand. Thank you.
Our second song for today is going to be Blessing of Glory.
Now the light of glory arises like the sun that shines on high. Now awaken into freedom, oh revive, whose spirits oh revive. Wake the mountains and the valleys, bring alive the springs of the earth, light the world forever with the light of your rebirth. Light the world forever with the light of your rebirth. We are called to bring back the glory to the life of God above. Now the Lord in His greatness fills the universe with tender love, ever seeking souls awaken, ever calling them to be free. How shall I attend Him who is calling to me? How shall I attend Him who is calling to me? From the dark of death, I awaken and rejoice to living grace. When the one who came to save me holds me tenderly in His embrace, ever rejoice to feel the comfort of the love He has for me. What a blessing last song will be Song of the Banquet. Okay, please join me in prayer. Dear most beloved Heavenly Parent, good morning. Thank you, God, for another wonderful day, another wonderful Sunday, where our community, we can come together here and really recenter ourselves for this week and offer this day to you. Heavenly Parent, through everything that happened this past week, we want to learn from this past week and also determined to move forward with strength and with redetermination. And today we will be receiving a very special topic, the importance of conjugal love, Heavenly Parent, and really how it's the blessing you've been wanting to give for such a long time. So I pray we can honor that and respect you today and really honor that relationship too. Thank you, God, so much for your love and your wisdom. We love you, and I pray and support these things in all of our names, and in my name, Yajinong, Daradohi, and Jiniang Swami, blessed your family, Aju.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, our mic is. Welcome to our Sunday service. I am your MC for today. I am Sister Merlin Loha. I hope everyone is doing great, even though the raining is so hard outside. First of all, I would like to really thank our New Jersey Family Band for such a great, wonderful opening songs for all of us. And for today, I would like to give thanks to our Passaic volunteers members for this week. Thank you so much for all the volunteer times that you have did. Let's give them a warm of applause. And it's time for us to stretch our arm, and let's have our meet and greet and welcome everyone. It's time for us to stand up and greet even the members who are in the kitchen. Please come and greet your friends. After the service, we have more time to greet and make time to talk to our friends. So this is the time that we have to dismiss our Sunday service kids. First, we would like to call all the children from pre-K to kindergarten. It's time for you to dismiss. Next will be the first and the second grade, and then the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Today we're going to have really a very wonderful topic, as the topic will be the conjugal realm of heart by our pastor Naokimi. And in order for us to have a wonderful information, let's welcome our two testimony givers. Will be the first one is our elderly brother and sisters Eric and Erwina Natmak. I'm not so sure if that's the way I correct it. Let's welcome our elder sisters to give their testimony.
It's Ntamak, N-T-A, Ntamak, not Nagma, Ntamak.
Yes, good morning, brothers and sisters. Yes, as the topic is about conjugal love, I cannot talk about really, yeah, thank you. Conjugal love without talking about where we come from and how we started. So I don't know if there are some picture slides, but yes, I'm originally from Uganda, and my husband is from Cameroon. We are in 1995, 360,000 couple blessing. So when we talk about conjugal love, it's basically, I want to go back to the origin, the blessing. I know most of you, maybe it is a different story, but our story is even more interesting because on our blessing day, I didn't have a picture. I only had a name, country, and date of birth. So that is absolute faith. Absolute faith. Because, so when I think of that, that is my go-to. Because if I could go for the blessing without a picture, then I have to understand the value, the purpose of the blessing. And based on that, of course, I know it goes with overcoming, forgiving, and loving consistently. So with that, I can say always I have to remind myself the why the blessing. So with that, that's where we are with our 7 children. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to Heavenly Parent and to parents. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, they gave us 7 minutes. When we came in here, they said 6 minutes only. So they said 3 minutes, so I don't know. So I'm going to try to be short, as short as possible. So what I'm trying to do, I want to say here, I want to talk a little bit about the process of unity between husband and wife, So because when we look back into true parents, we learn a lot about true parents. They taught us a lot. But between father and mother, they always talk about unity. Father say, I'm united to mother, and mother say, I'm united to father. How unity and between true father and true mother came about? I think to me, the main thing is that it was communication. Because true parents were talking, they were spending all their time together all the time. So they were talking, they were sharing, so they had time to learn each other, to know their character, to know their weakness, and to know their strength. So from there, I understood one thing is that since my wife and I, we get married, we got blessed, but it's not like in a secular world where people take time to know each other before they decide if they want to get married. Then in reality, in the end, they divorce because the divorce rate in the secular world is higher than in our church. So I was like, anyway, the first thing we have to know is we have to communicate a lot, we have to talk a lot. So when we started, as she said, we were blessed in 1995. I'm trying to go a little bit quickly here. And we started our family life in 2000. So in the beginning, we had almost nothing. We have, if you remember those TV we have with the rabbit here, those two, exactly, with 2 channels already. So basically what we were doing, we were just talking a lot, communicating and talking a lot. And we reached the point where we don't even need to talk. We already know what the other person knows. We already won, So that was amazing because I remember one time I went to buy something to the supermarket in New York, and then my neighbor was sitting out there and they were talking. And then I spoke with them, we talked a little bit, and then I ran back inside the house. And then my neighbor told me, he said, hey, hold on a second, hold on. Where are you going? Why are you going to the house? I said, I'd like to be with my wife. She said, but what that woman did to you, that you always go there, you always together, stay a little bit with us here and talk. You understand? So I can only be grateful to our true parents because really, so when I try to witness to people and I try to talk to people out there and I tell them the ideal that we have in our church, they always say that it's impossible. And then I realized that really true parents made the impossible possible, and I'm grateful about that, very, very grateful about that. So one thing also you need to do is that as a couple, prayer is very important. Prayer is very important because even if you are struggling, even if you are mad at each other, because it can happen all sometimes, that's part of the process of growth, right? You cannot go to pray while you are upset. You can't do that. That's not possible. So especially that you have to pray and the way we end our prayer, you cannot just go and say, in my name is our name altogether. So that's why prayer is very important, because if you pray together, you got no choice to settle any misunderstanding before you go praying. That's very important. So to me, communication, talking all the time, praying all that together, is very important. Of course, something also that I don't want to say, that happen, in, I call that the factories, the baby factories, So let me put it that way. It's also very important. The baby factories is very, very important because if you go to that factory, baby factory, and then you only work on it only like once a month, it doesn't work. You got to do as much as possible, especially when you are still young. That's the key, okay? So communication, praying together, and work a lot in the baby factory will make you an agile couple, okay? So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's indeed with your absolute faith, plus the real communication between husband and wife, and of course, like what you said, the baby factory, where you have to really work together as husband and wife, which is very important and vital rules for having a real conjugal relationship. And now let's welcome for our next testimony giver. Let's welcome Hector and Elizabeth Barantes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So, my name is Hector.
And
My
I'm
wife-
Elizabeth Lagateria.
Yes, and we got blessed earlier this May. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, so we're just gonna share 3 points as we have learned from Naokimi, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Pastor Naokimi,
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
the first point is...
Find beauty and God, even in difficulty. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Because during this year, like 2 weeks before the True Mothers came to Las Vegas, Elizabeth got very sick in her throat, so she couldn't eat properly. So then I had to cook for her every day, right? And it was for 2 weeks, and then whatever I cooked for her, it was not what she wanted, or she couldn't swallow it properly, right? So then I had to like keep investing and learn her culture, right? What her Japanese mother cooked for her when she was sick, not what my Costa Rican parents cooked to me when I was sick, right? So then I learned how to cook oyakodon or other things, and then it's like connected to this point is very. It's very beautiful because maybe the process is hard, but at the end it's gratifying to be with her when she's not sick, because it's like, thank you God, because I can just cook almost whatever and then it will be fine.
yes, that's
right?
it. Yeah,
So-
and being able to find God and positivity in any kind of situation. I think especially for us in our process, it was very important that we were very, very honest and very vulnerable with each other. And I think that emotional vulnerability was really the biggest basis for the rest of our relationship, our married life, and everything like that. So really grateful and being able to find God's perspective, and really seeing the beauty in a couple, and really understanding that, God does not want us to be alone. And something that really hit me when I was in the process was Pastor Crescentia told me, God wants you to be happy. And that was like mind-blowing for me. I was like, what? Really? Of course I've heard it before, but when someone told me, like face-to-face very deeply, and I was like, wow, yeah, God really wants me to be happy. And being happy with my husband is really so beautiful, so I'm so grateful.
Yes. The second.
No, this one.
Oh yeah. Yes, and in this point, something that I learned through our process, and then that I believe I will have to keep practicing over and over during our whole life, is I heard it many times during reading Divine Principle, but I never really understood what it meant. And it's love is the subject, and then beauty is the object. So in society we hear that, okay, you see something beautiful and then you fall in love, and then as long as that keeps being beautiful to you, then you will keep putting love or investing love towards it. But that's a very immature way to see love, right? Instead, like what we learn from true parents and like for lasting marriages is that the more we invest and love our partner, the more beauty we find in that person. So yes, it's
That's
amazing. Yeah. Then our second point is laughter. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yes, so I tend to be a perfectionist, and it was so funny because this morning was a perfect example. So I like to sleep at least 8 hours. Medically, it's very, there's a lot of research about it. Last night I slept 7 hours and 59 minutes, and it was so frustrating. But yeah, so just being like very calm and humble. Yes, it does not need to be perfect, especially we're just blessed this year. So giving each other space and patience to be able to grow in love with each other and be able to also learn how to love and serve each other well, I think is really important. So just, yeah, of course, strive for perfection, but don't demand it from the beginning. So that's been really helpful for us.
Yes. And of course, laughter, right? Because it's vertical, but it's also horizontal, right? The relationship. So even it's amazing even when we're mad, like I try to make her laugh, so that in that sense, like even though it's hard, like we can come back to the center and like just reconciliate. So that's really nice.
Yeah, it's also very frustrating because I want to stay mad at him, but I can't because I'm laughing. But it really helps me to center again. And, of course, God doesn't want me to be mad at my husband or hold on to the resentment or any negative things. So actually, the laughter really helps us to come back and, okay, we're a team. This problem is not bigger than us, and we can look at it. Okay, the problem is outside, and how can we solve it? So, yeah.
She also makes me laugh when I'm mad, so it's not just one-sided.
Yes.
And the third point is continual investment in each other and focusing on giving. Yes.
So we've been doing a lot of things like marriage course that the Weatheralls have been hosting, and we're part of high noon groups for couples and doing heavenly intimacy. So these kinds of things really help us to invest in each other as well as ourselves and our couple. And something that I found really interesting is that support systems is very important, and also friendships, actually. So no matter how hard I try, my husband is not going to be a sister for me, right? He's a man, he's my husband. So the kind of connection I receive from sisters, I cannot get from Hector. So developing my friendships, keeping that support community is actually very, very important to keep me strong, and then we can come back into the relationship. And that also goes into our Trinity couples, which we see one over there. Hello. But yeah, like having Trinity couples has been so helpful for us to be able to, again, have sisters and brothers in the same group, and we can spend time as a couple while actually developing friendships. So that's been really, really nice for us to kind of stabilize us. And we know the power of three is amazing and very stabilizing. So we're really, really grateful for that.
Yes. And for me, in relation to this point, like throughout our life as BCs, we learned that the blessing is the goal, right? So then what happens after the blessing is kind of blurry. Of course, we have we have to become a humble couple afterwards, right? But then, like for my own faith, like after I received the blessing, I felt like my motivation to invest in my own faith was like so low. It went so low afterwards. So then, then it made it harder to connect with her if I was not well with God as well. So then in order to invest properly in her and in our relationship, then I had to invest in God and my relationship with God first. Yes, and then with the community, we are very also grateful to all of you because like we see the example of older couples and all this community, which is amazing because it's what we're striving for, right? We want to be like one of those couples that has like 40 years of blessing, 60, and so on, right? So we're very grateful to have the opportunity to give this testimony and to also like look up to many of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Hector and Elizabeth. And such really a wonderful testimony you have. You are just mainly a very young couple, but you give us those 3 points, which us as an elder couples are also learning from that. And thank you again. I would like also to really make sure that each one of you have to really understand that for today's topic, which is the conjugal realm of relationship as husband and wife, is really so important. With that, I really like the one that is said, continuing in giving support to the community and continuous educations, where we can have a Trinity is really an important for all of us as a couple. You know, where we can be able to have someone where we can talk to, or we could be able just to lend our time off when we are sad or when we have so much troubles. Because in reality, yes, indeed we have. But if we have this strong community and a Trinity in our family, then it's easy for us to really bring out all the stress and be back in our own position again. So without this, let's welcome our New Jersey Family Choir to give us, a New Jersey Family Band to give us the songs today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yejin, and so for everyone who is not aware or who doesn't know, Father and Mother Moon, the results of their conjugal love was Hyojin Moon, or at least one of them. And he wrote the song Dorai, and I just wanted to offer this song. And I think what's most moving about Hyojin's song, or the spirit of when he was writing these songs, was he wanted to offer like praise to Heavenly Parent, but also offer his everything to his parents. And I think it fits with today's theme because, anyway, maybe if you reflect on it more, it would make more sense, but honoring your parents is a result of those parents being able to have really heavenly conjugal love. So, yeah, please enjoy. 발길이 닿는다면 갈 텐데 왜 이리 이 길은 먼가요. 해는 가고 달도 지고 하늘엔 구름만 바람아 내 친구 되다오. 일정춘 다 줬어 뭘 하오. 차라리 돌이 되어 그르리. 저기 달이 지고 해가 뜨는 산 너머 멀리 정처 없이 그르리. 먼 길을 떠나는 철새야. 내가 갈 곳 찾아 떠나면 바위 위에 흩던 짐 솔망울아. 내일 오면 내 땀을 찍어주렴. 세상에 허구많은 사람들아. 돌도 돌아 구르며 살짝 굴나. 고개 넘어 바다 건너서 우리 같이 가자꾸나. 이 길 따라 세상 끝까지 우리 같이 가자꾸나. 저 거리도 나 혼자 외로움에 잠겼던 날도 이젠 잊었어요. 날아가 버렸어. 모든 것 다 바람에 날려 버렸어. 사랑하는 사람아, 이것만이 내 세상은 아니야. 세월 가고 새 날이 온다 해도 끝없이 그대를 사랑하리. 사랑하는 나의 사람아, 나는 그대와 돌이 되어
Wow! It's really an awesome. I feel like our elder brother Hyojimun is actually singing on that spot right in there. Thank you so much. It's really indeed. Oh, I'm still like really. It's really a wonderful song. I hope you can feel it. And now, not much further ado, I know every one of you are really so excited and really want to hear this wonderful sermon that our Pastor Naokimi is going to share to all of us. And I would really like you to open your hearts and your mind to let's welcome our very own Pastor Naokimi.
All right, yes, indeed. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you, Yejin and the band, for that song. And let's give a hand to our new MC here as well. Merly, good job, Merlin. So, last week we spoke about gratitude and appreciation. And just a simple recap, gratitude is primarily kind of vertical, appreciation to God, your parents, for what you have. But appreciation is just as important. It's when you actually express appreciation for somebody. It's primarily horizontal, but people also need to feel that you need them, you appreciate them. So both are really important. So for more, you can always check online for our sermon series. But today I wanted to go into the next realm of heart. So we have 4 realms of heart, and we covered the children and siblings realm. And today I wanted to go into the conjugal realm. So this is a very important realm of heart of the 4 realms, and it's between husband and wife. So let's start with the definition. According to the Oxford Online Dictionary, conjugal is relating to marriage or the relationship of a married couple. Okay, simple enough. That's what conjugal means. But let's go further into what does the scriptures say about marital love. There's a lot of wisdom in scripture, and so I always like to find at least one quote from the Bible. This is from Ephesians 5:33. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. Very simple. Love and respect, right? It's simple to say, much harder to do consistently. And we always know that in marriage it's so important to respect and love. And actually, I was really appreciate all the testimonies as well for the tips on marriage. Even the young folks here, I felt like my sermon was already done by the time the testimonies was done. But thank you for that. So yes, the essence of marital love is, of course, loving each other, respecting each other. And it's simple enough to say, but what are some challenges, do you think, with marital love? What are some challenges? You see everything. Okay. The good, the bad, the ugly. When you live with them for 20 years, and even 1 year, you kind of see everything, right? That's no challenge. It's one thing to be in love, cloud nine, in the dating phase, or that kind of phase. But when you actually live together, you see everything. What are some other challenges? Yes. Communication, sincere communication is challenging, especially if you come from different cultures, if you have different languages. But even if you were both born and raised in America, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So we come from different planets, and so even the way we understand and communicate with each other is very different. And so sincere communication is definitely a challenge in all marital relations. Any other challenges with marital relations we see? Yes? Oh. Right. Okay, so looks like we have a sermon series coming up here too. But basically, what I heard was that we're fortunate that in our marriage blessing, we do have a common goal in mind. Many, although they have love for each other, there may not be a very strong sense of a common goal beyond the love relationship within each other. So that's something we do have in the marriage blessing that we're grateful for. But even if you have the same goal, the approach on how to get there may be different from each side. So anyway, there are many challenges, but one common challenge I know in society is staying committed to each other. Staying faithful to each other even after marriage is quite challenging. We may, growing up in this community, we may not kind of experience it as much, but I know in society this is a very, very common challenge, is that even if you get married, doesn't mean you're going to be sticking around too long with each other. Even though they may want to, it's very challenging to continue. So I want to go into what is unique about the conjugal realm of heart. There's 3 points I wanted to focus on today, but what do you think is different in the conjugal realm of heart as compared to the other 3 realms of heart? So there's children's realm of heart, siblings, and parental realm of heart, but what makes conjugal realm different? Yes? It's exclusive. Give the woman 10 points. Yes, we have. One of the 3 points is exclusivity. That is very, very important. We'll go into it, but shortly, hold on one second. The exclusivity is different from the other 3 realms of heart, right? Parents, you might have multiple children. Siblings, you might have multiple siblings or your colleagues. And as a child, you have both your dad and your mom. But the husband and wife is supposed to be, meant to be, just one person. Okay, and this is something that's really important about the protecting the conjugal realm of heart. Any other points? What makes this realm unique? Sexual intimacy, having that. You don't have that with other realms of heart. This is part of the aspect that makes and is connected with the exclusivity, is that this is the only relationship where you're meant to have the most close relationship of sexual activity. All right, we're going to go into those 3 points, and the first one, look at that, you got it, meant to be exclusive. So I grew up in this community, so I was taught and grew up with this understanding, and so when I was growing up in high school, I faced a pretty sudden challenge. I might have shared this story before, but it's a good story, so let's listen. The prom story. So I was in my junior year, high school, AP bio class, and I had a lab partner, and she said she wanted to meet me after class, very, thought it was about homework or something like that. And so right after class, we kind of said, okay, so what do you want to talk about? And she says, will you go out to the prom with me? Right? And this was, she was a senior in high school, so it was a big deal for her to ask me. And I just froze. I was like, yeah, I was like, it was really, like, totally, I must have been really dull. I didn't see it coming. It was just like all of a sudden. And then, and she saw that I was shocked because I was just like, frozen. And then she was like, don't worry, if I already talked with my parents and they're willing to pay for your ticket as well, right? $75 back then, that was big. My lunch money was $1 a day, so. I couldn't think of anything, so I quickly said, okay, let me talk to my parents, and I'll get back to you. And then so she let me go, so I quickly went down the hallway. And as I was turning the corner of the hallway, I was suddenly surrounded by 5 other senior girls. And they were like, what did you say? And I was like, oh, shoot. Fortunately, one of the 5 ladies, they were one of my friend's elder sisters, so she was like, let him go. So she gave me a little bit of space so I could run through and get through down the hallway. So I got home. I was struggling. I guess struggling's not the best word. I was calculating the pros and cons. I was like, okay, if I go to the prom, oh man, my friends would really respect me. I'll get a lot of props. I know I won't do anything stupid, it'll be fun, it'll be new, different, all that kind of stuff. But then I was looking about the cons. Well, what are the cons? And I was like, well, yeah, this is kind of against what we were taught growing up, and also this would be a bad example for my younger siblings. That's kind of what I was thinking. So I ended up not talking to my parents, but I did go to the prayer room, and I did ask God, well, God, what should I do in this situation? And it was interesting, the thought that occurred was, the first thought that came actually when I sat down to pray was, I want to have my first dance with my wife. That was the first thought that came. And I was like, that's true. I do want my first dance with my wife. And then so I said, okay, so it's clear to me that, I'm probably going to have to say no. But then I was like, well, what do I tell her? Because, she made such a big deal to kind of, get the courage and get her friends on board and her parents on board. And I was like, oh my goodness, this would be devastating for her. So my heart really went out. I was like, oh my gosh, what can I do? So Monday comes around. I decide, okay, can we talk after class? So we went to the library, and we sat down, and I just started to explain God, the fall, restoration, the blessing, true parents, and me being born as a blessed child, and having an arranged marriage, and that's why I can't go out with you. Like that. So it took about 3 hours to explain everything. She listened for 3 hours, but she was grateful. She appreciated that I took the time to kind of explain instead of just kind of, saying no. And then later that night I heard, someone else actually invited her to the prom, so she still had a date. So yeah, that's what happened. And then fast forward like 4 or 5 years. This was my senior year. This is after I got blessed, but the senior year, my wife had a winter ball. And so I think I was in my, where was I? Yeah, she was in her senior year. I was in my sophomore year in college. But we went out, and I fulfilled my dream of having my first dance with my wife. So that was it. Okay, why did I share this story? Anyway, point is, even for singles, reason why we really emphasize purity and non-exclusive relationship before they're married is because we know how hard it is to stay committed to each other, even after marriage. And so by really preparing your heart and your hormones to really commit to one person is preparation for maintaining that and growing that in marriage. So it might seem kind of rigid, but I really feel it's a really important practice for our young folk to prepare, maintain, or continue to develop your sexual integrity and purity. I know sometimes mistakes happen, things happen, but there's always a pathway to restore that and really get solid in terms of your commitment to one person before going into the blessing, marriage and blessing. So that's one thing I'm really appreciate about our community. Second point, this was interesting. The marital relationship is the only one that doesn't start as a relationship of blood. That's interesting, but let's read. The relationship between husband and wife is different from that between parent and child or among siblings because it does not start out as a bond of blood. The husband and wife relationship contains infinite and inexhaustible treasures. Once formed in the presence of God, the bond of husband and wife is meant to be absolute, and the two should become inseparable for eternity. So, yeah, it's interesting, right? Because parent and child, we're bonded by blood, right? We have the same DNA lineage, and there's a connection. We get features from our parents. Even our siblings, even though we don't believe that we came from the same parents, by definition, by scientific law, we are related to each other, right? By blood. But your spouse is not related by blood. It's the only one. That's not like a familial relationship. It doesn't start that way. But once you start your marital life and have sexual relationships, actually that's when a bond, a strong bond is formed that is meant to be stronger than any other relationship. And that's what makes this realm of heart so special, is that although it starts off as not even a blood relation, by the end of it, you're meant to have this relationship between husband and wife is meant to be stronger than any other relationship that you have. It says here, the two should become inseparable for eternity. It's a long time, guys. But you know, I've at this point, me and my wife have been married through the marriage blessing for 23 years, 23 and a half. So God bless her. But you know, we've been together longer than we've been as singles. Right, so we've really spent more time, and I spent more time with her than even my parents or siblings at this point, right? Or even my children, right? So really, this relationship is meant to be the most powerful, intimate, strong relationship. Yeah, that's something that's really special about this realm. And finally, there's one more point. Oh, actually, let me... Scrolling into Shaw. Okay, what story to share about this one? Okay, one thing I would say is, you know, in the Bible it says, actually, I'm a little bit rusty here, sorry, but something about people leaving their parents for their spouse, right? Matthew 19? 95. 19:5, Matthew 19:5. Okay, we have some all right, we'll stick with the Matthew 19:5. Anyway, it's really a verse that says people will leave even their parents to become one in flesh with each other as husband and wife, right? And I remember experiencing this early in our relationship, me and my spouse, my wife, Shikuko. We came from different cultures in our families in terms of our faith traditions. So my parents were very strict growing up. Not saying that that's good or bad, just that's how it was. And so when we got blessed in marriage, my parents were actually concerned because her faith traditions wasn't the same as ours growing up. And to a point where I remember at some point they even suggested maybe this isn't the best to keep or something like that. I was appalled, yeah. Right, exactly. I was appalled. And I was like, wait a minute. This is my wife you're talking about here. And I remember fighting with my parents or arguing because of that point. And I do feel like it is a part of the natural, and this is something that I'm sure many married couples face, was the challenges with your parents-in-laws. Anyone experience challenge with parent-in-laws? Nobody? Wow. You guys are perfect. My goodness. No, it's a historic challenge, you know. The daughter never being able to fully satisfy the mother-in-law's expectations or, you know, different kind of challenges like that. So those are real, but the strongest bond is meant to be between the husband and wife. Third and third and very important point is that you are meant to experience all the four realms of heart in that one relationship. Okay, this is also important. This actually makes it exciting. You're not just meant to be lovey-dovey and in bed all day having sex. No? Okay, sorry. The conjugal realm is supposed to be, of course there's the intimacy and the strong bond and so on and so forth, but you're meant to experience being a child to your spouse, being a parent to your spouse, being a sibling to your spouse. Here, let's read. It is the realm of the absolute subject and object partners in the four great realms of heart. The wife sees in her husband the ideal heavenly son, heavenly older brother, heavenly husband, and father. To the husband, his wife possesses the corresponding absolute qualities as the ideal heavenly daughter, heavenly sister, heavenly wife, and mother. So yeah, it's interesting. But in the conjugal realm of heart, this is the realm where you can actually experience all four realms of heart. Okay, another story. So this was like within the first year of getting blessed in marriage together. And I remember asking my wife, oh, could you cut my hair for me? Right? And she was like, just go to the barber. Right? But I insisted. I was like, no, I want you to cut my hair. It's like, I don't understand why you can't just go to the barber. I don't even know how to cut hair. And I was like, it's okay. I want you to cut my hair, right? So anyway, I was very persistent, and so she gave in, and she was like, okay, fine. So, she got some tools, and we spent like maybe 2 hours, she's like trying to cut my hair. And then, of course, since it's the first time, she makes some mistakes, and there's like a slight bald spot here and there. And then she's devastated, right? She's like, oh my goodness, this is so terrible. I can't believe you made me cut your hair. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, it'll grow out, it'll grow. But since she thought it was so strange and I didn't know why it was so strange, I reflected, why is it so strange for me to ask for my wife to cut my hair? So upon my reflection, I realized actually that my mom used to cut my hair. And for me, that was an act of love, of receiving love from my mom, was when she would cut my hair. My siblings didn't do that, but even in college, I had my mom cut my hair. So I realized that I was seeking to receive a mother's love through my spouse. And there was some other stuff like, I remember I asked, oh, can you clean my ears? She was like, ew, no way. Get away from me, right? But I realized these are things that, again, my mom used to do for me, and so I felt like I wanted to receive that same love as well. So this is natural. This is normal. We're meant to actually experience, after really getting married, is experience all of these realms of heart with each other. And if you know that, then you can feel free to experiment and practice with your spouse all the different realms of heart relationships. And if you see it that way, there's an endless possibilities in terms of how to relate with your spouse. Does that make sense? All right. Yeah, we can give a hand for that. It's really important. So what that means also, for those who are single, all your different realms of heart that we're practicing as a child, as a sibling, this is preparation so that you can get all of that experience so that you can love your spouse. Does that make sense? When I was on missionary training, what they did, when you spend a lot of time together, you struggle with each other, right? Anyone experience like being in a van for like months on end with the same people? Only a few of you? Oh my goodness. Anyway, I guess that is an odd experience. Anyway, in our missionary experience, we would spend time, a lot of time, like fundraising and being in the vans, and we get really tired of each other. But then, every time we go to a workshop, like a marriage prep blessing workshop, they would say, the person you struggle the most with may become your future spouse. What? Why would I get married? But the point was, anything that you struggle with in terms of relationship, it will come out in your most closest relationship. And so the people you struggle with is an opportunity for you to grow your heart so that you can even love that aspect in your future spouse as well. What a blessing. So, as singles, don't worry. There's a lot of preparation, and everything that you're doing is also practice for that. So this sermon is very relevant to you guys as well. Okay? Everything is in preparation for that. Okay, this is getting long, so I'm just going to go through the final parts. Why is marital love so important to our community? There's a few passages from our founders, Father and Mother Moon, that I want to read. The first human beings lost this standard due to the fall. Hence, without recovering it, everything in the world is in vain. Therefore, the only begotten Son and the only begotten daughter on God's side must establish a realm of conjugal love as husband and wife. For Jesus to fulfill his purpose in his lifetime, he needed to find his bride, but he was not able to do so. That is why he left the concept, I am the bridegroom, and you are the bride, as his last testament. Jesus said that he was God's only begotten Son and that God was his Father. That claim indicates that as an individual, he had received God's first love. Interesting. Received God's first love as essential as the only begotten Son. Although God came to have his only begotten Son, Jesus, he did not yet have his only begotten daughter. Jesus was unable to find her. Thus, Jesus must return to meet God's only begotten daughter, who can totally receive God's love. There's a few more. That is why the Lord at the second advent must celebrate the marriage supper of the Lamb, that is, he is required to marry. This man who completely receives God's first love must marry a woman who completely receives God's first love, and they must start a family together, thus restoring the positions of unfallen Adam and Eve. So, this is something I want to end with. Marriage to our faith community is more than just something, a legal document and a commitment of relationship with each other. It's actually a very fundamental, what's the word I'm looking for? Sacrament. It's a fundamental sacrament because we know that, again, according to our teachings, that from the beginning of history, humanity disconnected from God because of their first misuse of love, and that the first relationship of love was not centered on God's love. And so all of human history has been a story of God trying to restore and establish that original love, which was one man who really understands and connects with God's love, and one woman who really understands and connects with God's love, that on that foundation they come together as a true couple. That was the beginning point of our whole movement in 1960 with the holy marriage ceremony. And then on that foundation, many of our couples, actually all the couples here, they received the marriage blessing to continue that tradition of God-centered marriage. So I just want to end with, this is not just, for like a self-help, like marriage support, which is great, all great stuff. But this is connected to our most holy sacrament of really a God-centered restoring and maintaining and strengthening that original ideal that God wanted from the very beginning. So know that your relationship with your spouse is more than just how he or she makes you feel. This is a commitment to really honor God and God's hope and dream for you as a couple. Okay, so with that said, we'll go into the summary, which is love your spouse exclusively, seek to experience all four realms of heart with your spouse, and the marriage blessing is really a holy sacrament. So let's go into our reflection question. Turn to someone next to you. If you don't want to talk to somebody, that's okay. You can just reflect on your own. But if you do want to chat, you can ask your neighbor, what can I do to love my spouse? Or if you're single, prepare for my future spouse this week. Well, you could, that's fine. Or you can turn to someone else. Okay, 5 minutes, please discuss, and we'll wrap it up from there. Okay, let's wrap up our reflections with each other. Please tell them thank you for sharing, brainstorming. So, if you can hear me, please raise your hand high. If you didn't hear me, then help the person raise their hand as well. Okay, that didn't work. Okay. Hello, everyone. Can I get your attention, please? All right, thank you. So, I'd like to hear from some of you. What can you do to love your spouse or prepare for your future spouse this week? Anyone? All right, Ermgard, always willing.
I was waiting. Anyway, for me it was very simple because I made my husband upset this morning, and it was about a picture, and I said, I will frame that picture for you. And interestingly, when I asked my husband, how did your mother love you? Or how did he feel? He came up with all these abstract things. That's hard.
So many more ways to love your spouse, Ermgard. Yeah, very good, very good. So she said she's going to reframe a picture that she kind of took down, right? All right, back here. Oh, and please state your name for the congregation.
Christine Libon, I'll give my husband a pedicure.
Wow, that's commitment, guys. Pedicure. All right. Huh, that gives me an idea. Okay. Yes. Oh. Mr. Kato.
This is definitely I have supposed to do my wife because she's birthday this Wednesday, right? So I'm gonna bring my wife to the restaurant for birthday dinner. Huh? This is something like in Chelsea, Manhattan. So I'm gonna.
Nice restaurant.
Yes, nice restaurant. Yeah.
Nice restaurant for wife's birthday. Okay. Thank you guys. Yeah, let's give yourselves a hand for discussing and making your commitment for this week. So for me, I'd like to ask the challenge for this week is do something to make your spouse smile or laugh. Okay? So, yeah, think about that. That's the challenge. Do something to make your spouse smile or laugh. If you're single, just serve somebody. Okay. That is all. Thank you for being a great congregation and audience. I hope you got something from the message, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Pastor Naokimi. For now, I would like to welcome our very own dear sister to share his testimony regarding about why she chose to tithe to the New Jersey Family Church. Let's welcome Sister Jennifer Yashiro.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. The question about making your spouse smile or laugh, I think he must be laughing now because both of us were very shy to speak in front of the congregation. And so I think he's encouraging, but probably laughing at how nervous I am. I want to frame this as a reflection. The topic of money and giving is very sensitive and really, close to the heart, and it also can be close to the couple's relationship. And so I'm not here to give any kind of advice whatsoever, but just reflections on my own journey to coming to my current commitment to tithing. So just very quickly, I grew up in a non-religious family, and I also, it was a farm, and I had no And then I went straight from that to joining this church full-time in a different state and living in a church center where everything was provided. So it was like, in a sense, being in a monastery or nunnery. So no income there. So no chance to really think about tithing per se. Just giving your whole, life and effort and everything. Then finally, much later, when I was together with my husband, and he had a calling to develop a business, a seafood business that would support, church activities nationally and sometimes internationally. So his attitude was very strict about public money, not misusing money, public money. And so I totally supported him on that. I think for many years we gave when called to give. And sometimes, there's big opportunities, big requests. And we were happy to do that as much as we could. But I feel like we were not so deeply connected to the local community. And after my husband passed 5 years ago, I went through some panic in terms of financial situation, going from two-person income to one. And, just being kind of nervous and scared about the future. But I feel like I was guided in so many different ways by our pastors, by my brothers and sisters, by my own conscience, and by my studies. So I came to the point where connection to local community became much more important, and that was very naturally done through the small groups that we developed. We developed in different stages, but still very, very precious to my social life, my emotional life, and spiritual life, and also. Through that and through attending different, meetings about the church finances, I realized that, one point especially that Pastor Naokimi mentioned was, we're not in a position to buy a new building, that we may dream about some, really nice thing that can be a big community center and serve the broader community. We have what we have, but my cousin told me at Thanksgiving, if you're grateful for what you have, then what you have is enough. And that really struck me because, this is a precious building, and a lot of love has been invested here, a lot of tears, a lot of struggles, and overcoming. So I decided to tweak my tithing a little bit. I was kind of combining everything that I was giving, on every different level to different related organizations as one tithe. But this one, I decided 10% to the local church, and it really sits. It sits with me. It sits with my conscience, with my original mind, with my heart, and so that's my commitment. And then anything beyond that, 10% is baseline for me, but of course, it's not a upper limit. So anything beyond that, any other needs, to help somebody, whether it's an individual in need or, to help different projects and whatever, that's on top of that. And it'll be an adventure to see how much, beyond that can happen. But I just want to say that in reflecting to give this testimony. The words trust came up a lot in my mind and heart, like just trusting God, trusting the universe that it's going to be okay, and don't have to worry about the future. It's going to be okay. Be my best self in this moment, and day by day it'll come together. So, thank you so much for your for your listening.
Thank you so much, Sister Jennifer. It's such a wonderful thing to hear from you. Now let's welcome our Clifton Family Band for a closing song. Also, this is the time to offer your time.
Come unite the world, come unite the world, you soldiers of truth, chosen by the Lord to carry His word till the world proclaims Him ruler of all. Every soldier must go forward to fight out for God, because your life and desire, uniting both the body and soul. We shall be the soldiers who can fulfill everything for God by doing His will. Join the fight for the Lord, sacrificing all that you have. Join the fight, win the world, we will see victory. Come unite the world, you soldiers of light, called to be the chosen people of God, till the world returns all glory above. Every soldier must go forward to march on for God, the wealth you possess, uniting from beginning to end. We shall be the soldiers who can fulfill heavenly desire by doing His will. Join the fight for the Lord, sacrificing all that you have. Join the fight, win the world, we will see victory. Soldiers of right, come unite the world, you soldiers of right, trusted by the Lord who's worthy in heart, till the world is bright with heavenly joy. Every soldier must go forward to win, all for God the love in your heart, uniting on the left and the right. We shall be the soldiers who can fulfill heavenly desire by doing His will. Join the fight for the Lord, sacrificing all that you have. Join the fight, win the world, we will see victory. Come unite the world, you soldiers of life, ever to obey our Father's command, till the world returns His heavenly love. Every soldier must go forward and offer God the people you love, uniting both the young and the old. We shall be the soldiers who can fulfill what He died for by doing His will. Join the fight for the Lord, sacrificing all that you have. Join the fight, win the world, we will see. One more time, join the fight for the Lord, sacrificing all that you have. Join the fight, win the world, we will see victory. Thank you.
Okay. So, brothers and sisters, please join me prayers. God, our Heavenly Parent, when I joined this movement, I decided to dedicate all my life. But you gave me more than I offered. You gave me the three great blessings: be fruitful, multiply, and have a dominion. When I was young, I prayed one day, God, you prepare my spouse. Until that time, I dedicate my life. And God, you gave me wonderful wife and eternal my partner. I truly appreciate God. You always prepare for my happiness, for everyone's happiness. Here today, thank you. Thank you very much. We offer from sincere our devotion. And please accept our offering and bless and please multiply this offering for everyone. And I pray for all blessed families when we go back to home, truly appreciate God give us a wonderful partners and wonderful children. This is the most precious blessing and love from God. And we truly appreciate, we want to share such a wonderful love and blessing to others. Heavenly parents, I truly appreciate your love. I pray for this, my name, Atsushi Takino, Namiko Takino, Blessed Central Family. Achu.
Thank you to all brothers and sisters. It's a wonderful moment for all of us to join us for our fellowship downstairs. Also, I would like also to thank our members who are online participating for all of us. We're so grateful for all of you. And not much further ado, I would like to give some announcement for our community. For today, Mrs. Hideko Lewis is the celebration for 100-day prayer service. Right? At 11:30, right after the service. Also at 12 o'clock, there will be a property improvement group meeting at the fellowship hall. Please meet upstairs, okay. And then we have also a witnessing and guest care team meeting to the fellowship hall. Lastly, the pastor greeting out will be at the foyer. Yes. And not to forget, our pre-K and second grader parents, please don't forget to pick up your children at your Sunday school service room. Thank you so much. Don't forget your children. Thank you so much.
Come unite the world, you soldiers of truth, chosen by the Lord.